So talk us through where the two leaders actually stand on the Iran war now.
Yeah, interestingly, if you look at the Chinese readout of what took place between Trump and Xi yesterday at the Great Hall of the People, the Strait of Hormuz and Iran did not appear in the Chinese readout at all. Of course, it got a lot more space in the U.S. version of the readout, with President Trump saying that China has agreed to play a bigger role in trying to bring about those peace negotiations, and that China is against the militarization of the Strait of Hormuz, that it's against the imposition of tolls in the area, and it doesn't agree that Iran should hold any nuclear weapons. We heard from the Foreign Ministry as well saying that, yes, they want to foster those dialogue, but again, it doesn't really offer anything new or specific in terms of what sort of leverage China is willing to use on Iran. The U.S. also says that China is willing to buy more oil and gas from the U.S., but lack of specifics in terms of volumes. And again, we asked this question to the Foreign Ministry earlier this afternoon at a press briefing, and the spokesperson sidestepped the question, simply saying that restoring peace is the most urgent matter right now.
Minmin, President Trump also says some fantastic trade deals have been done. Well, the U.S. trade representative told Bloomberg that he expects China to spend billions on American agriculture. So let's listen.
Coming out of this week, you heard the president today talk about the Boeings and hundreds of Boeings being purchased by China. We already have a soybean deal with them from our prior meetings of 25 million metric tons a year over the next 3 years, and we expect to also see an agreement for double-digit billion purchases of ags over the next 3 years per year. We want to focus on non-sensitive goods. We think we should be selling them. Things we think we should be buying from them, trying to facilitate trade in that area, and then from there, we'll be able to interact with our Chinese colleagues and negotiate with them.
Minmin, has President Trump secured some wins around trade?
Well, again, the specifics are a little bit lacking. We know that the U.S. has said they want to speed up the clearance of Chinese investments into the U.S. This is one potential win for China, because China has been looking to pour more capital in the U.S., but there has been a lot of scrutiny from CFIUS, for example, that has scuppered a number of Chinese deals. So that's potentially on the docket, but lack of specifics there. In terms of actual deal where we have real numbers, Boeing came through with a 200 jets deal, but that was smaller than anticipated. It's been previously reported that Boeing was eyeing a 500 jet deal, so we saw the stock fall on the back of that. No forward progress on soybean, because that was already agreed upon in Busan, and China is on track to fulfilling those 25 million metric ton of soybeans. But beef as well, we mentioned this yesterday, China approving the licenses of hundreds of these beef plants in the U.S. after allowing those licenses to lapse last year. And this is something that is quite crucial as well, although given the environment now with a sluggish consumption demand and Chinese meat producers also facing the issue of overcapacity, it remains to be seen what the actual trade volume is going to be. One major disappointment has been on the tech front, right, because there's been so much anticipation about Jensen Huang being the latest addition to that delegation, and Jamieson Greer said that tech curbs didn't really feature very heavily in the discussion between President Trump and Xi, and he said that it's going to be up to Beijing to decide whether or not to buy those H200 chips. So it doesn't seem like the two sides discussed the rolling back of tech curbs. Reuters mentioned that NVIDIA has gotten clearance to sell to some 10 Chinese tech companies, but we haven't gotten official confirmation on that front. Rare earths as well, Jamieson Greer said that he would give a passing grade to China when it comes to that, so suggesting that there is some level of satisfaction about the recovery in shipments of rare earths.